Hi folks, hope you're doing amazing. Today we're going to be talking about Disney's Snow White, that is Rachel Zegler. She has not been taking Trump's victory very well. She made several very bombastic statements over on Instagram about Trump's win. She is, needless to say, not very happy at all. And this isn't necessarily unexpected from her. Rachel made some pretty insane comments during the promotion of Snow White. She's very clearly a far leftist, extreme, I would say, Sharia law level feminist. She's out of her mind, brainwashed, propaganda to the gills. And her statements have a lot of people just not really shocked, but just, when you tilt your head to the side to see if somebody's okay. That's pretty much what everybody on X has been doing last couple days. Anyway, here are her statements. This was shared by Steph Ani over on X. She said, Rachel Zegler hopes Trump supporters never know peace, tells her followers to get off X because Elon Musk supported Trump, and ends with, fuck Donald Trump. This is Disney Snow White. By the way, she probably won't face any consequences for posting this by Disney due to their unfair double standard. Now, that's in reference to the way Disney treated Gina Carano. Now, if you remember, Gina Carano was fired February 2021 from The Mandalorian. That's a hit Star Wars show on Disney+. She was fired for taking a stance against COVID-19 vaccines, implying that the 2020 election was a result of voter fraud, reposting a meme that compared having different political opinions to being Jewish in Nazi Germany, and mocking the use of pronouns on social media, which is pretty much normal. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of skepticism over the COVID-19 vaccines. I have a lot of skepticism. I felt like it was absolutely rushed the way that they rolled out those vaccines. There are increasingly greater reports of people having vaccine injuries. That's a thing. It's getting suppressed, obviously, in the media because it runs against the narrative that they want to push that vaccines were perfect, right? But it's a real thing. As far as there being voter fraud in the 2020 election, I mean, you don't have to look any further than how Democrats are reacting to Trump winning now to know that it's common to have distrust of the electoral system in America, especially when you look at it statistically, and 2020 was a statistic anomaly. Joe Biden got over 10 million votes of what every Democrat before him had gotten for over 6 election cycles. Trump won in 2016 with over 71 million votes, which is pretty much what he got in 2020, and it's pretty much what he got just now and what gave him the election. Joe Biden got 81 million votes, and nobody can account for that over 10 million vote or almost 15 million votes spread between what he got and what Hillary Clinton got and what Kamala just got. Where did all those almost 15 million or 10 million ballots come from? Was it all due to ballot harvesting? Was it truly the effect of Democrats changing the rules of the election, seizing the opportunity since everybody's locked at home, just taking advantage of the fact that you could do this ballot harvesting thing and just pushing out as many people as possible to get low propensity voters to vote? Who knows? And then as far as freedom of speech and not being able to share your political opinions, I think a lot of people have felt like that. And pronouns on social media, that's beyond a meme. I don't even think people who have pronouns on their bios on social media even take it that seriously anymore. I mean, it's a joke if you do. If you take that, you just get the fuck out of here. Anyway, all this to just illustrate how Gina Carano's posts and her statements weren't even necessarily that controversial. What made them controversial is that they come from a conservative perspective. And as you know, over at ABC, Disney, they hate conservatives. They hate anything that's not far left liberal. Now, you may remember the debate that Trump had on ABC and how, the only debate that he had with Kamala Harris, in fact, and how it was 3 against 1. They had 2 people fact-checking and basically cross-examining Trump and giving Kamala Harris layups. Meanwhile, she never got fact-checked even once. So we all know that Disney and ABC are terribly biased organizations that have absolutely a very clear political agenda. And this has been revealed over and over and over again. There have even been internal Zoom calls with Disney executives where they lay out their agenda and how they really truly want to influence this country to basically abide by their Marxist ideals. Anyway, back to Rachel Zegler. Let's see her statements and how they compare to Gina Carano's. I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in. Leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. Leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want. Leaning us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning. And I am here with you to cry, to yell, to hug, to wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. I echo Ethel Kane's statement more than anything. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. First off, that's not poetic at all. That reads like something a middle schooler, an emotional middle schooler writes in their notebook, their diary, daily diary entry, complaining about mom and dad. Oh, my dad was mean to me today. He made me drink 6 cups of water. That's silly, obviously. That's why I made such a silly reference, because this person is silly. They take themselves so unbelievably serious that they're silly. First off, they don't have any less rights than they had yesterday. They don't have any less rights than they had a year ago, even 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can go back as many years as you want. Rachel Zegler, who lives in California, doesn't have any less rights than she had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, even before the Supreme Court flipped Roe v. Wade. In fact, to some extent, she may even have more rights, because so many states have overcompensated to make up for the fact that there are no longer federal protections for abortion. A lot of states went further than they would have. Alaska has 0 impediments on abortions. There are many states like Kansas, even Kansas. I think Kansas is 24 weeks. Obviously, the Bible Belt is pretty strict, but most other states are relatively liberal with the way that they've voted for their abortion policies. And that was even an object of discussion in this election, because there are many states where Trump won and there were abortion proposals that passed, very liberal abortion proposals. And people have been discussing this, saying that's why so many women felt comfortable voting for Trump, because they got to vote for Trump and they also got to secure abortion rights for themselves and their daughters and their families in their state. So they got the best of both worlds. And I have to remind all the liberals out there that even RGB, even Ruth Bader Ginsburg, thought that Roe v. Wade was too broad. Her only qualm with Roe v. Wade, with repealing Roe v. Wade, because she was, to a certain extent, in favor of it being passed on to the states, which is Trump's position. The only qualm that she had with doing that was that she was personally scared of it affecting poor women and their access to abortions. Outside of that, she had the exact same position as Trump, the most liberal justice likely in the history of the court, who's revered as a feminist. There are people who printed out shirts for her. They wear shirts with her face like she's the greatest. And that's fine. You can think she's the greatest or whatever, but this just to illustrate the point that even on your own side, people agree with the current policy. So why are you complaining? And what exactly are you complaining about? You still have the same rights. Your daughter's going to have the same rights. A nationwide abortion ban isn't even on the table. It wouldn't even pass Congress. And to me, the cherry on the cake, which always ends up reverting back to this whenever you see a liberal have this waxing poetic, but it's really just an emotional breakdown on the internet framed as something artistic when it's really not. They literally preach the divisiveness that they accuse Trump of exacting. They say, may Trump supporters never know peace. What do you think you're going to achieve with this? What's the end goal here? You want a civil war? Is that what you want? Like, there has to be an end goal. You can't just be saying stuff like this to your millions of followers. This is a man that's been shot at twice. A bullet grazed his ear on live television. And you're basically saying, may he never know peace. Anyway, she continues with her Def Jam Slam Poetry Jam, saying, there is also a deep, deep sickness in this country that is shown in the sheer amount of people who showed up for this man who threatens our democracy. It is terrifying, the number of people who stand behind what this man preaches. It is a foolish subscription to a false sense of security, of masculinity, of intelligence, of patriotism, and of humanity. There is no help, no counsel in any of them. I could go on. I won't. Feel sad. You probably do too. Fuck this. So you're telling me that Trump is giving everybody a false sense of security. This after an administration that essentially rolled us to the doorstep of World War III. So many foreign conflicts that we've been funding. We've literally been funding the Ukraine-Russia conflict by proxy. We've been funding both sides of the Hamas-Israel conflict, Hamas indirectly through Iran, with the money we've sent Iran, we've completely destabilized the border. The homeless crisis in California is out of control. In New York, they're spending $60 million a month to house illegal immigrants in hotels, historic hotels, the Roosevelt Hotel on 53rd and Broadway. And what do Americans get out of all this? You're saying that this is stability? What's normal to you? This person's clearly confused. They don't understand anything of anything. And to think that from the height of her smugness, she knows better than the wisdom of the many? If so many people came out for Trump and he literally won every battleground state, caused Kamala Harris to underperform, worse than Joe Biden in 2020, worse than Hillary Clinton in many of the states, that's a referendum. If you are disconnected and alienated from everybody else in this country, it doesn't mean that you're right, that you see something everybody else doesn't. It means, in fact, that you are disconnected from everybody else. You are living in a Hollywood bubble. You're an elitist asshole, and nobody likes you. Sorry, that's a harsh truth, but it's the truth. Anyway, she keeps going. Get off Elon's app, by the way. The fuck are you doing? They're eating you up on Twitter. I don't use that app for a reason. He helped get that man elected, and you're giving him business. I was talking about finding catharsis in art. I don't care if you're going to pick a fight with me. It's been done before. Find someone real to be mad at today. There's plenty to go around. Catharsis in art. I'm glad you revealed with all of these college-level SAT words that you're just having a mental breakdown on social media with zero shame and using the guise of art as a way to justify this mental breakdown because it's artistic. You don't just have meltdowns, you cry for a living. Good for you. Anyway, her insufferable rant keeps going. She says, okay, that's all going on stage to Act 2 now, and need to get off my soapbox before I get too heated. Sending love to everyone who needs it today. May we all carry each other through the worst and hold these politicians accountable. You dem govs just got very important. They already were, but hey, follow your governors. Hold them accountable. Local government is where we will make real change. This is not the end ever. I will love through these 4 years as best I can. Fuck Donald Trump. Wow, so proud, so cringe. Anyway, obviously it didn't end there. She kept going because these people, all they want is attention. Is it not evident? She shared this post by this Matt guy, whatever it is, and it talks about the reasons why he voted Kamala Harris. Says, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris because I love her, or because she's my mamala, or because she's I can't, dude. All these memes, mamala, she's Brett, whatever it is. That's where you lost most people. I'm not even sorry to tell you that. That's just the truth. And you know it. You know you're cringe. You know you're an elitist fool, buffoon. Nobody likes you. You can travel anywhere in the country. Nobody likes you. That's why you call all the states in between California, LA actually, LA and New York, the flyover states. Because if you went anywhere outside of that bubble, if you drove 30 minutes outside of New York into Connecticut or wherever you go, New Jersey, parts of Pennsylvania outside of Philadelphia, you know people would eat your ass up because you're a fool. Nobody likes you. Stay away. Keep your meltdowns out of social media and just, for the love of God, stop being so dramatic. Save it for the silver screen. At least get paid for it. It's what you do for a living. It's embarrassing. Anyway, you tell me what you think in the comments down below. See you later. Peace.